When it comes to the world of YouTube, Adele, Taylor Swift, and Beyonce combined can't top this guy's numbers.
Can't even fight my mom!
I want that gorgeous mouth.
PewDiePie! 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 PewDiePie!
They call him PewDiePie.
Yes.
For nearly a decade, one man ruled YouTube uncontested. No corporation, no controversy, no creator could take the crown from him. Then someone did, quietly, and the man who surpassed him had once been his biggest fan. Once the undisputed king of YouTube with over 100 million subscribers, in the last few years, PewDiePie has been surpassed by MrBeast, who now commands over 240 million. This shift reflects more than just subscriber numbers. It represents a fundamental change in what it means to be a content creator. This is the story of how PewDiePie and MrBeast, two very different creators, became the faces of two YouTube eras, and how PewDiePie, the king of YouTube, passed the torch to MrBeast, the platform's most generous creator. But was it a handover or a takeover? Before he was planting trees or handing out houses and jets, Jimmy Donaldson, better known as MrBeast, was just another kid obsessed with PewDiePie. Back when YouTube still felt like the Wild West, and YouTuber wasn't considered a real job, MrBeast was already uploading fan-made documentaries about the Swedish gaming icon. PewDiePie, the screaming guy with a webcam, was a mystery to the mainstream. But to a new generation of internet kids like Jimmy, he was something else entirely. Proof that you could build an empire from your bedroom. And it wasn't just admiration for the fame. MrBeast saw something deeper in PewDiePie's success. His originality, the work he put into each video, and most of all, his commitment. For nearly a decade, Felix Arvid Ulf Kjellberg, better known to the internet as PewDiePie, wasn't just popular, he was the face of YouTube.
How's it going, everyone? PewDiePie here.
PewDiePie!
PewDiePie began uploading videos in 2010 from his bedroom in Sweden. Early on, his content was simple, focusing primarily on gaming with Let's Play videos, mostly horror games like Amnesia, The Dark Descent, with plenty of over-the-top reactions and awkward screaming. At a time when gaming content was still niche, he popularized the format through consistent uploads and relatable humor. His early videos were raw, low-budget, and filmed entirely by himself. But that's what the internet loved back then. Unfiltered, raw, chaotic. Over time, he expanded into reaction videos, vlogs, and commentary, helping define the standard for YouTube creators. Back then, creators didn't have production studios or large teams. YouTube was seen as a hobby, not a career. PewDiePie proved it could be both. Though he rarely went viral in his early days, his steady rise set a blueprint for aspiring creators. He showed that it was possible to become a global superstar by simply being consistent and authentic. By 2013, he became the most subscribed channel on the platform. Not just among gamers, overall. His charm wasn't conventional, but it was effective. He spoke directly to a young, global audience, and he made YouTube feel personal, not corporate, not polished, just real. But it wasn't all screaming and Slender Man. PewDiePie was also one of the first creators to shift with the platform. As YouTube matured, so did his content. He moved from Let's Plays to reaction videos, memes, vlogs, commentary, even books and collaborations. Somehow he stayed relevant, even through algorithm changes and monetization chaos that wiped out hundreds of channels. And then there was the controversy. Between 2017 and 2019, PewDiePie faced a string of very public missteps, accusations of offensive jokes, media clashes, and major sponsorship losses. Disney dropped him, YouTube distanced itself, and yet he survived. The controversies could have ended his career. Instead, they hardened his core audience. His fan base didn't shrink. It became more devoted. By the time MrBeast entered the picture, PewDiePie had already held the throne for over 5 years. He wasn't just the most subscribed person on the platform, he was the platform. His name was synonymous with YouTube's success. But YouTube doesn't crown its kings forever. And in the background, someone else was climbing the ranks, not with memes or gaming, but with money, stunts, and generosity. Enter MrBeast. If PewDiePie was the face of the early YouTube era, Jimmy Donaldson, better known as MrBeast, would come to represent its future. While PewDiePie was making his mark, a 13-year-old Jimmy Donaldson, aka MrBeast, was just getting started. MrBeast didn't explode overnight. Inspired by PewDiePie, he initially made gaming videos but quickly shifted focus. His early videos, uploaded from his home in North Carolina, included niche, low-budget experiments, counting to 100,000 on camera, cutting a table, reading the dictionary. It was bizarre, yes, but strangely addictive. And, more importantly, it was different. Then, he shifted focus towards more viral content. His videos now featured stunts, challenges, and giveaways, all carefully designed to go viral. Where PewDiePie's rise was driven by personality and humor, MrBeast's rise was engineered like a startup. He studied the algorithm, tracked audience retention graphs, and ran A/B tests on thumbnails before anyone else was doing it. He didn't just want views, he wanted to understand what made views happen. By 2018, MrBeast had found his formula: extreme generosity, viral stunts, and high-stakes challenges. He wasn't just donating money, he was building his brand around giving it away. Tens of thousands to streamers, to Uber drivers, to strangers on the street. He bought houses and gave them away, gave away Lamborghinis, and tipped pizza guys with entire stacks of cash. It worked. Hard. The virality was undeniable, but so was the substance. MrBeast reinvested nearly everything into his videos. More money meant more spectacle meant more views meant more sponsors. And the cycle continued, and unlike most YouTubers, he wasn't interested in personal fame. MrBeast rarely posted about his own life, avoided scandals, and remained laser-focused on production. He wasn't trying to be relatable. He was building an empire. Then, in late 2018, the stars aligned. PewDiePie was neck-deep in the subscriber war with T-Series. Most creators watched from the sidelines. MrBeast didn't. He dove in. It started with a quiet surge from India. In 2018, a Bollywood music and movie label called T-Series was rapidly gaining subscribers. Its uploads, dozens of music videos per day, were feeding YouTube's algorithm like fuel to a fire. Suddenly, it wasn't a creator climbing the ranks. It was a corporation, and it was coming for PewDiePie's crown. What followed was one of the strangest cultural moments in YouTube history: the subscriber war. August 2018. PewDiePie sounded the alarm. In a routine upload, Feuds mentioned the new threat to his reign, T-Series, an Indian music channel growing at a terrifying pace. He joked about it, the fans didn't. By October, it had become a full-blown internet war. At first, it seemed like a joke, a meme. Subscribe to PewDiePie became a rallying cry for internet loyalists. Fans created live-stream counters. PewDiePie dropped diss tracks. Even hacker groups got involved, breaking into printers and smart TVs to promote the slogan. But beneath the memes was a real existential panic. If T-Series won, did that mean the end of YouTube's soul? The loss of its indie spirit? Was the platform still a place where creators could thrive, or just another pipeline for sanitized, studio-approved content? This is where MrBeast stepped in. While most fans spammed Reddit threads and comment sections, MrBeast opened his wallet and the floodgates. He wasn't just supporting PewDiePie, he was escalating the war. In the video, "I bought every billboard in my city for this," MrBeast and his crew plastered Greenville, North Carolina with PewDiePie propaganda. Street signs, bus stops, store windows, nothing was safe. But he didn't stop there. He ran radio ads, launched PewDiePie merch, and even coordinated public stunts during the Super Bowl, all urging people to subscribe to PewDiePie. His videos promoting PewDiePie reached tens of millions. This wasn't a meme anymore, it was a movement. To PewDiePie fans, MrBeast became a hero. He wasn't just fighting against T-Series, he was fighting for creators, for the community. And perhaps more significantly, he was building his own mythology in the process. But T-Series wasn't slowing down. With a population of 1.4 billion and a content machine built for mass appeal, they eventually overtook PewDiePie in April 2019. PewDiePie congratulated them, graciously if reluctantly, and the war was officially over. But something else had shifted. While PewDiePie's growth plateaued after the subscriber battle, MrBeast's numbers kept climbing, quietly, consistently. The man who fought beside the king had earned global recognition, and the algorithm's favor. And for the first time in years, PewDiePie wasn't the only one in the conversation. MrBeast wasn't just a fan anymore, he had made himself part of the narrative. That moment marked the unofficial beginning of MrBeast's path to YouTube supremacy. Not because he wanted to surpass PewDiePie, but because, intentionally or not, he'd placed himself next to the crown. And once you stand next to the throne long enough, people start asking when you're going to wear it. After the dust of the subscriber war settled, something unusual happened. PewDiePie stayed where he was, comfortably at the top but no longer growing at the explosive pace he once had. Meanwhile, MrBeast started accelerating, not gradually, not modestly, but exponentially. Between 2020 and 2023, MrBeast went from being the guy who counted to 100,000 to a full-scale media empire. His videos were no longer quirky experiments. They were massive productions with multi-million-dollar budgets. And they were working. He gave away private jets, houses, and money. He recreated Netflix's Squid Game with real sets and real cash prizes. He opened restaurants, ran food banks, started a chocolate brand, and launched a philanthropy channel. Everything he touched turned into content, and everything he made went viral. But more importantly, he cracked a formula no one else had mastered: altruism plus spectacle. Where most creators chased fame or flexed wealth, MrBeast built his brand around giving, and people couldn't stop watching. He wasn't just generous, he was strategically generous. Every dollar he gave away made the video more watchable, and every more watchable video brought in more money to give away next time. It was circular, it was brilliant, and it was impossible to copy. By mid-2023, the numbers spoke for themselves. MrBeast had overtaken PewDiePie in total subscribers. He became the most subscribed individual YouTuber, surpassing a title PewDiePie had held for nearly a decade. It was historic. But it didn't feel like a coronation, it felt more like a shift. There was no public drama, no bitterness. PewDiePie even congratulated MrBeast. The internet called it a passing of the torch, but the truth was less symbolic and more strategic. PewDiePie had pulled back from the grind. He'd moved to Japan, started a family, and posted infrequently. MrBeast, on the other hand, was scaling like a startup. He treated YouTube like a business from the start. He hired a team early, focused on growth, and aimed for virality. Dozens of editors, multiple channels, global translations. He wasn't just making content. He was building YouTube's first multinational brand. He turned content creation into a full-fledged corporation. The rivalry, if you could call it that, was never about hate. It was about scale. PewDiePie had dominated YouTube as a person. MrBeast was dominating it as an institution. And now, for the first time since YouTube began, someone had built something bigger than the throne itself. For all the headlines and subscriber milestones, the truth about MrBeast versus PewDiePie is more nuanced than a rivalry. Because this wasn't a feud in the traditional sense. There were no diss tracks, no backhanded interviews, no public betrayals. If anything, it was a story of two creators with very different visions for what YouTube could be, running parallel rather than against each other. PewDiePie built his empire from chaos. His videos were messy, unscripted, sometimes controversial, often personal. His fans didn't just watch, they knew him. He never hired a massive team, he never tried to go corporate, he stayed independent, and he wore that as a badge of honor. MrBeast, on the other hand, was building an operation. His videos were engineered, thumbnail tested, algorithm optimized, and filmed with military precision. He wasn't chasing YouTube culture, he was reshaping it. He didn't rely on personality alone, he relied on scale. So while their channels were competing in numbers, their philosophies weren't clashing, they were diverging. That divergence is what made the so-called Feud so fascinating to fans, because it forced a question YouTube had never really had to ask before. What kind of creator deserves the crown? Is it the one with the most personal connection to their audience, or the one who built the biggest, most efficient system? PewDiePie himself has never shown bitterness. In fact, he's repeatedly expressed admiration for MrBeast. In interviews, on stream, in tweets, he's acknowledged the sheer work ethic and genius behind the MrBeast empire. He didn't lose the crown, he let go of it. MrBeast, for his part, has always shown respect. His support during the T-Series war wasn't strategic, it was sincere. He idolized PewDiePie growing up, and once he surpassed him, there were no gloating thumbnails, no titles flaunting subscriber supremacy, just a quiet acknowledgement and a steady continuation of content. If this was a feud, it was the kind that only exists in analytics dashboards and comment sections. A rivalry built on metrics, not malice. Driven by viewers, not the creators themselves. And perhaps that's what made it such a modern feud. Not two men tearing each other down, but two giants rising for different reasons, in different ways, toward the same platform ceiling. The story of PewDiePie and MrBeast isn't a clash of enemies, it's a case study in evolution. When PewDiePie first took the YouTube crown, creators were pioneers, taking risks without guaranteed success. YouTube was barely recognizable, videos were grainy, monetization was unreliable. The idea of making millions from content was absurd. He didn't follow a blueprint, he became the blueprint. His reign shaped what it meant to be a successful YouTuber for nearly a decade. Raw, personal, fan-driven. MrBeast entered a very different YouTube, one shaped by PewDiePie but no longer ruled by the same rules. It was faster, more commercial, more algorithmic. And MrBeast didn't resist that, he optimized it. MrBeast's success proved YouTube could be a mainstream career. While PewDiePie was content to entertain, MrBeast was building a machine. And yet both changed the game. To understand their influence, consider this metaphor. IBM introduced the personal computer, making it mainstream. But Apple and Microsoft revolutionized it. In the same way, PewDiePie laid the groundwork. He showed content creation could lead to stardom. MrBeast built on that and took it further, showing how YouTube could be leveraged into a massive business. Now, many new creators enter the platform not as hobbyists, but as entrepreneurs. PewDiePie's legacy is in how YouTube felt. His relationship with his audience was intimate, flawed, and real. He made millions of viewers feel like they knew him. He took risks. He got in trouble. He apologized. He moved on. And through it all, he stayed independent. MrBeast's legacy is in how YouTube works. He revolutionized production values, creator reinvestment, and cross-platform business models. He normalized six-figure giveaways, $10 million budgets, and globally translated videos. He didn't just chase the algorithm, he fed it exactly what it wanted. For fans, the feud was never personal, it was symbolic. PewDiePie was the creator everyone grew up with. MrBeast was the creator YouTube grew into. Together, they represent two eras of online content, one built on personality, the other on precision, and neither would exist without the other. MrBeast stood on PewDiePie's shoulders. PewDiePie stepped aside with grace. No scandal, no downfall, just two very different men who redefined what was possible on the same platform, and a fan who built an empire not by tearing down his idol, but by honoring him. And maybe, in the end, that's the best kind of feud. One where both sides win, and the audience gets everything in between. If you enjoyed this story of YouTube loyalty and legacy, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the most famous feuds in history. Who should we cover next? Let us know in the comments.